we're honored today to be listening more about your story and how you came to give your story to us today. So
yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Like it's an honor to be here.
Awesome.
Definitely, man. I'm very grateful to be able to have the life that I have today. Grateful to be working in a field where it's like I'm able to have purpose.
Yeah.
Have a meaningful life by helping others. Like, I think that's one of the most important things that I've been able to do as far as like with recovery, and being able to, as a result of getting clean, getting in recovery, working a program, and then now working in the field for a living, like I think I'm well overpaid being able to just see people's lives transform right in front of my eyes.
I'm not overpaid.
I agree.
And I'm only saying that because I'm only saying that because he's the boss's son. I'm sorry.
I'm not when I say that, I'm not talking about money, like I'm definitely not talking about financials. Like financially, everything's cool, right? Like I'm good. But what I mean is like I'm spiritually fed,
That's important.
Yeah, it's the most important.
How did you come?
Yeah, please. I think we were going to ask.
You want to rock, paper, scissors to see who asked?
I'll be the judge.
No, I'll win every time. No, I won't win. I'm terrible.
You sound
at that.
confident. I guess I'll ask. How did you come to that spirit? You just mentioned spiritual. Like that's an important thing. We've spoken to a lot of people who kind of have different approaches to that spiritual aspect of things. What does spirituality mean to you?
I mean, for me, right? Like, I'll make this clear. Like, first and foremost, like I am not my own higher power. Right? I am not God. I am not in control of any of the shit that has happened in my life around me. Like the only thing I can control is how I respond and react to any given situation, right? Like I was not raised in a religious family whatsoever, right? Like my dad is Irish Catholic and can't stand it at all.
You're Irish Catholic too, right?
Yeah, like my dad is. My dad's very. My dad was never really like pushy on it. I think because he might have been pushed into like that sort of religious aspect of it, and I don't think it was good.
Catholicism is usually kind of like that.
Yeah,
where it's like kind of pushed.
And you're born. You're baptized as like a little.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole process, right? And like,
it's a process.
For me, right? Like I was always growing up, like I've always been really interested in like, what are we doing here? Like I've always just kind of had like that, like,
what's the meaning of it?
Yeah. Like why are we here? Yeah, come on, man. Like, why are we here?
It's a wonder, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, and you look up in the sky when you're a kid, right? Like, and like I grew up a little bit north of here where it's not so populated and not so like, the light in the sky isn't very bright at night. In like the Antelope Valley in the northern Los Angeles County.
Oh, okay.
So in the desert where you don't want to be from.
Okay.
Right? Like
is that like where Lancaster is?
It's exactly where Lancaster is.
Cool.
We'll get into that. It's
all right.
It's definitely not like
Lancaster.
It's not a place where I recommend going.
Yeah, that's true.
But like looking in the sky though, like you could see satellites, you could see stars, you could see everything, right? And I just knew like, come on, like
there's so much out there.
There's something going on that we're not aware of, at least I can't comprehend it, right? So I never really knew though. I never knew God. I never understood what God was, but I was fascinated with the idea of what it could be. And I think from when like the desperation and as a result of using drugs and the places it takes you, you see a side of what I guess you could say the opposite of God is, right?
For sure.
Evil, right? Very sadistic, very transactional, and transactional, and you see a lot of things being taken, right? And like I know for me when I first got high, right? Like I was just telling Ron right here, like when I first got high. I equated that feeling to what I assumed God's love was, right? And
that's why it's called the devil's trap.
Yeah, man, that's why it's called the devil's trap.
So it's the best feeling one could have. I would assume by that description.
For me, right? Like it was something that I was willing to sell my soul for. Right. Like I'm gonna do this till the day I die. That's at that time. That's what I thought. right? Like I'm going to die a drug addict.
And how did you get introduced to it? Like, what was the first age that you tried, and how did it begin?
For me, right, like I grew up, like I said, up there in Lancaster, right? Born and raised in the desert, man. I have a good family. I come from like a well-off family. Like I needed for nothing, right? Like I got everything that I could have wanted as a child, but like I raced motocross, like dirt bikes. I traveled the country. I did all of that. Like I was homeschooled, and along with that, I guess you could say, and I would assume any sport, right, comes injury, right? And for me, drugs and that introduction came by way of pain pills.
Okay,
what were you playing?
Motocross, dirt bikes.
Oh,
right. But like at a very high level, very, very high level.
Right.
Like
X Games.
Like not X Games, but like racing supercross, motocross, like in the baseball stadium.
Really?
Yeah,
like, that's where my
pretty
life
sick.
was headed.
That's pretty
right.
sick.
You know, like that's where like I was trajected to go.
You would do like
Jeez.
basically like backflips off of like ramps. And
Like all the cool stuff, man. Like everything.
Yeah,
I've been to
know.
many, many states. Like I mean, they took me out of school and put me in homeschool to do it. You know, like I was good, right? Like
Yeah.
we weren't paying for it. Like it was free. Like this, I had sponsors, like the whole nine.
Wow.
You know, it was really, really
So
cool.
you were
man.
going.
I was blessed in that. Like
Yeah.
I was blessed to have that as something to do as a child. Right, kept me out of trouble for a lot of years. But on the flip side of that, like I have a lot of metal in my body. I have a rod in my femur. I got a rod in my arm. I got one in my wrist. Screws, and like that comes at a price, you know. And the price is opiate pills. You know, like when I broke my femur. I think when I was 12. I've
Jesus.
And I've had broken my right arm like 5 or 6 times, man. Like 5 or 6 times.
Just falling off the bike. Like
Yeah. And every time one of those bones was broken, right? Most of the time came with surgery. Most of the time came with that warm feeling from opiates, and most of the time it came with a prescription to take home. Right?
Yeah, because they were very liberal.
Oh,
at
yeah,
that
like,
time.
I mean-
they're just like,
Back in the day, you get whatever you wanted, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
You
they
know,
just
like
wanted-
it's
they
in
just
my
keep
mom's
giving-
control. I'm underage, anyways. You know what I mean? But like, didn't mean I didn't sneak them when I could. You know, I knew something was up with them, right? Like I didn't know at the time that like doing those things and like those behaviors, like that, those little like sneaky behaviors and like trying to steal my own medication at the time, because I'm a kid, right? Like I'm a child, dude. I didn't know that was going to take me down a path that would lead me to where I'm at now, but like a path of misery and pain and suffering for a lot of years, right? Like, of course I smoked weed. Like I did all the things kids do, right? Like 12 years old, 13 years old, started smoking weed with my friends. But like, when it really, really got serious, man, for me was like in high school, right? Like I stopped racing. I was done with that shit. Like excuse my language.
You're good. Feel free to use whatever.
Okay.
word.
don't ever say
yeah.
shit again, okay? Very.
I was done with that, right? Like I was done racing. I wanted to feel the way I was feeling from opiates, right? And you know, it progressed very quickly for me. I ended up getting a little construction job. My dad, he builds hotels for Hilton.
Nice.
And so I always could get like hired on with a subcontractor and do basically whatever I needed to do, because at the end of the day, the people that I'm working for, they're getting paid by my dad, so they're not going to tell me no, you know?
Right.
And in that culture, and I guess you could say in like the trade culture, like the unions and stuff like that, like there's a lot of drug use. There's a lot of methamphetamine. There's
I want to get into that.
There's a lot of heroin, right?
In
a lot of
what
heroin.
trade?
All constructions.
Blue collar.
All construction trades.
Oh,
Everyone's
okay.
doing
What do you
drugs.
see on different job sites? Kind of like a quick little tangent, like
speed,
meth.
Yeah.
And what, like, are those the electricians, the plumbers?
all of them.
Everyone's doing meth.
Everyone's doing speed, coke, drinking.
Yeah.
Like, but the majority of the things that I saw, right, and the people that I was like working with, it was like sniffing speed,
Sniffing speed.
Right.
So sniffing meth, basically.
sniffing meth. Yeah.
It's in the
Right.
film industry. Like if you in the crew,
Oh yeah.
you know, they work these long hours. Somebody's got to climb a tree.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, just give them a little bit. I mean, they're all on
it's
that.
borderline
I
encouraged,
shouldn't
right?
say that.
It's borderline encouraged. It's true. It
Yeah,
is.
because
we have
they
to
work
do
harder, longer.
we have to do an amount of work that's impossible to do in the amount of time.
Right.
Right.
They give it to soldiers.
With the
know.
same energy and
Exactly. Like it's
enthusiasm.
not going to happen, right? Like unless you're just one-off kind of guy where you're just a monster, you know. And I'm not. I'm 16 years old. I want to fit in. I want to be accepted. I want to do what the other people around me are doing, the older crowd, right? And like, so I did. right? Because what if they don't give it to me? What's going to happen? I'm sure they're thinking like, well, what if I don't give it to him? His dad's my boss, like what? Like it's not going to probably work out for them. And
no, you were in a good spot.
Yeah, like I kind of had it made, right? And started sniffing meth, in high school, and started doing heroin.
So the meth came because of the job.
Meth came because of the job.
And the heroin because you ran out of oxys to find.
Heroin came because the pills started to get scarce, right? Like I left a little bit out, I have some older friends when I was younger, right? That like had like a whole little pharmacy that like some fraudulent stuff going on. And like we were getting pills in a lot of different people's names, to Walgreens before like the DEA like locked down all the opiates and before all that came crashing down. So like I was strung out. Xanax, Norcos, Somas. Like I'm in high school, dude. Like I'm the king at high school. I went back to school. Like I got a lot of pills, right? And that's like a popular thing, like 2008, 2009, and but that introduced me to people that I normally wouldn't have associated with, right? Like that led me to like a criminal activity, a criminal lifestyle. It led me to like people that were comfortable going in and out of prison, comfortable like robbing, doing all the stuff we do in the name and means to get one more, right? Like so with those people came new drugs, right? Like with those people, the pills kind of fell away. Like we're doing heroin, like we're doing heroin, we're doing speed, and we're not sniffing it. You know what I mean? We're shooting it. We're smoking it. And that became my life, man. Like that.
In high school.
Yeah, in high school. Yeah. By the time I finished high school, like by the time I finished high school, I'd already gotten a minor underage drug case. I had already, been to some Narcotics Anonymous meetings and some 12-step meetings by way of the courts and stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, I graduated with the 4.0. Like I was.
Oh my God.
School always came really easy to me. Like school never really came like I never really had to try. Like I just I got it. I understood it.
I didn't.
Thank God. And so I was able to graduate and kind of like keep my parents, like at bay. Like they didn't really know,
They didn't know about the drug use.
Nah, they didn't really know. They just knew about the weed. You know what I mean? I kind of kept it hush hush, right?
Wow.
And eventually that all came like crashing down when I got arrested, obviously. Because first time I ever got arrested, I was 17 and I was a minor, right? So they're calling mom. Because I'm not getting out until she comes and gets me, right? But I got caught with a lot of crack, like a bunch of crack. And I wasn't using the crack. I was selling the crack. But I got caught, right? And I got busted. And that's when all the curtains fell for me, right? Like everything, like my parents are like, oh, okay, dude, so this is what you're up to. You know what I mean? Like it's over with, right? Like we're going to fix you. Yeah, right. Yeah, man, like I chose to, from the time I was, let's say 15 years old to the time I was 28 years old, 28 is when I got clean, man. I shot heroin and methamphetamine every single day. Unless I shot heroin and methamphetamine from the time I was 15, 16 years old, man, until the time I was 28, every single day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The only time I didn't every single day was when I was incarcerated. And that's not by choice. Like if I would have, I could have.
Okay. So what made you not want to continue with that behavior in jail, in prison? Because you could get that. Right?
I wanted to, and I did. Don't get me wrong, I did. Like I there was many times when I was in prison where it was just like I was not looking good. Like I was strung out, man, and but we all were, right? Like we all were, but like it's expensive. It's not normal like it is out here, right? It's expensive. It's scarce. It's risky. You got to do certain things that you're not always comfortable with doing, right? That's another good thing to talk about too, right? Like where the addiction and stuff takes you as a human being, right?
The things it makes you do.
The degradation, man, like the degrading stuff that you do in order to get what you need to get, right? So it's like, and you can't say no once you're in there around a certain once you're incarcerated, right? Like in the places that I've been, and once you're around a certain demographic, I guess you could say, around a certain type of human being, right? Like where it's like you're not saying no, because it's life and death. It really is. It's dangerous in there. And
so you're saying that like somebody, or not saying it happened to you, but it happens where like someone will be threatened to use.
Yeah, well, you're gonna make however we need to get more.
We're gonna use you to.
You're gonna get used if you get asked.
Okay,
don't say no. You say no, like
yeah,
it's not gonna end well for you, right? Like because we all need that. We need our drugs.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You got to do what you got to do.
Right. You got to bring it in somehow, right?
Somehow, some way, it's getting it in. It's getting in, and whether that be through a visit, whether that be through a prison inmate or a worker, or a guard, a nurse, anybody that works on the outside of the prison, right? Like it's coming in. And if you're asked to be a part of that, like I want to get high, So like I don't want to feel the way I feel right now. I don't want to feel alone, stuck. I want to feel better, and feeling better to me is like like that deep dark abyss, feeling nothing, right? And that's what heroin gave me, man. Like that's why I did it for so long. I mean, I was dedicated.
Makes you want to escape your reality.
Yeah,
because it turns your reality into hell.
Yeah, reality for me, man, is like I can't face life, man. I don't know how to live. I don't have life skills. I don't have a career. I don't have a dime to my name. I ain't got nothing that I've earned, like it's sad.
What age were you when you came to this realization?
When I came to the realization,
and the setting you were in,
that I came to the realization that my life's shit, right? That I came to the realization where it's like, this isn't working for me.
Mm-hmm.
26, 27, man. And I honestly like, so I've been to treatment. I've been in and out of the treatment world for, many times, man. I got incarcerated when I was 20, man, and got out. I got out when I was 26. Okay, so that
6 years.
Yeah, 22, 26, just like that, just over with. Watch the calendar, watch the days go by. Do drugs when you can. Stay out of trouble, and hopefully you get your date and you get out, and right, but like 18 and 19, 26, 27, and 28, I did the treatment shuffle, you know what I mean? And like I had probation, and they were really, really heavily recommending me going to treatment, because if not, you're gonna go to jail, you're gonna get violated, right? And early on, when I was 18, 19, and like 20, before I was in trouble, it was like I didn't want to get clean for me. I didn't want it for myself. I wanted to continue using drugs. I just wanted to learn how to use drugs successfully.
Got it.
That was you're saying. Okay,
yeah, at first, when I was a youngster, when I was a kid, right? Like when I was a kid, I just wanted my parents to like shut the fuck up. I wanted like the probation officer. I wanted to have both lifestyles, right? Like I wanted that, like I wanted a real job. I wanted to like do all these things, right? Like I wanted something better for myself, but I also wasn't ready to give up this yet.
Gotcha.
And this always overtakes this. This is the primary concern.
That's a hell of a fight, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's a hell of a fight, but it's a fight you'll never win. When you're when you're in active addiction, right? You can't win. You've already lost and you don't even know it yet, Right. But I always was going for the wrong reasons. But you know what? Every time I went to treatment, man, or every time I went to a meeting.
What are the wrong reasons? Sorry to cut you off.
The wrong reasons is if it's not for me.
No, right? You said going to treatment for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, like I've been to treatment for the wrong reasons. And when I say wrong reasons, like I'm not going because I want to be there.
Okay, court mandated.
Yeah, like I'm not going because I got a great, bright idea where like I just need to better my life.
Okay.
Every time I had ever been to treatment in the past, it was because I wanted to take a break, right? I wanted my habit to not be so expensive, right? I wanted to maybe like eat a couple meals, take a nap, sleep for a couple of days, right? Like I wanted my the people that I had in my life, family wise, friends wise, to like
think you're doing good.
Think you're doing the do, like I'm doing the deal. I'm getting better, right? So they can let me back in, so I can manipulate them, and so I can get what I want, right?
That's a lot of pain to go through to get what you want.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I mean, I can't imagine going into treatment, as you say, on meth, on heroin, and having to withdraw from that. I mean, that's not a lot of people are successful.
Yeah, and you know what's even
honestly
even worse too? Like what you're saying right there is like to know that you're not done yet. You know what I mean?
When it's happening.
Yeah. To go and do the time, right? Like to go and do the 30-day, the 60-day program.
And you know you're just
and
wasting
just
time.
know that like this, come on, like this is a joke, right? Like I'm just buying my time, right? Like I know as soon as I leave here, the opportunity will present itself and I will take that opportunity, right? Let me rephrase that. There isn't a wrong reason to go to treatment, right? Like I don't think there is a wrong reason to go to treatment. I don't care what your motivation is. Mm-hmm. You might hear something that might change your life,
100%.
Right? Like, so let's make that clear. Like, first and foremost, dude, like there is no wrong reason to go to treatment because no matter what, you will learn something. Whether you use it then or later is up to you, right? But something will happen.
And opportunities always present themselves at times where you don't think that they're going to be there.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, man, even this last time, right? Like this time now when I finally got clean, I didn't know if I was going to stay clean. I just knew that I was willing to.
Yeah, you know, that.
Like I didn't know because every frame of reference that I have and every attempt that I have ever made at doing the right thing has ended up in failure, right? But I didn't have the ability to look at it as the perception that I have now is that like every time I went, I learned something new that I still get to carry with me, right? I might not have stayed clean, but I learned some tools, right? I might not have stayed clean, but I went to a few meetings and I got introduced to what like recovery is about.
Exactly. And I'm thinking, like you said, you did a lot of, you know, as you put it, like I went through all the Medi-Cal places. We talked about going to Cry Help, which is a really good place.
Strict program.
Best program I've ever been to in
North
my entire
Hollywood.
life. I used to work there.
They're very nice
if
there.
You could,
but if you're coming
if you're
out
able to
benzos,
stick to that program, that
saved my
program
life.
will
I've been there
work.
twice, actually.
Good program. Shout out. Cry Help. They're not sponsoring us, but
no, they're not. But
if you're coming out benzos,
if you need somewhere to go,
qualified help, don't go into detox.
So like for me, right? Like when I so we were talking about God, right? We were talking about God and like a higher power, spirituality, right? Spirituality.
Right.
Now let's keep it like a broad term. Like spirituality is very broad and I think it's very it's good for the addict because like or the alcoholic, right? Like spirituality is something that you can manipulate or adapt to whatever your qualities of whatever you think your higher power might be, right?
Right. It's open.
It's an open book, right? You get to create it. Right, like it doesn't. You could pick whatever form of God you want, right? As long as it's not you.
I have a little bit of a debate about that, but
he's a Jesus freak.
I am too.
No, I am a Jesus freak, man. I'll say it proudly.
I am too. So I had to learn it though, right? I had to learn that.
I went to military boarding school, fundamentalist. You know, I was married.
Why aren't you a Jesus freak?
I can't. Because I don't know. And that's the truth.
Right.
I don't know. Like what he said at the beginning of the conversation, we're spinning around. He always had this sense of wonder. And when I wonder, I don't know.
So one thing I can say is like, I have the faith that it is, that there is that, you know, I choose to call Jesus Christ and God, my God, right? It's what I can understand. It's what I can relate to. Right. And it's the Bible is where I found it. Right. But what I was saying was like in the rooms of like Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, and those rehabs, I heard that word higher power all the time, right? And like going back to like heroin, right? Like heroin to me was a higher power at a time, right? I did whatever it said. I did whatever it told me to do to get more, right?
Yeah.
And the way it felt, I assumed that was maybe what God might feel like, but on a negative side of it, right? Like it felt good, but it wasn't a good thing for me, right? But the curiosity was sparked through like the 12 steps and stuff and seeing how much it has to do with the spirituality side of it and with God and meditation. And like, I could gel with that. I could get with that. Right. Like, cause I know I didn't create none of this around me. Right. Like I know that this ain't by accident. Like everything around us is not a coincidence. Right. You know, and
we just had that conversation. Some guy, what's your friend's name? Yeah. He had a friend here, and he met a guy from Michigan. And then he ran into another guy, and weren't they like, didn't they go to the same school?
Yeah. Yeah. They went to the same school.
I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
They do. You know.
Not by accident.
Yeah, not at all.
And that's my choice to believe that, right?
No,
like,
it's true.
but like, I've always known there's a God. I've always known it's real. I couldn't put my finger on it, right?
Right.
I have overdosed more times than I have fingers. Why am I here? You know what I mean?
Wow.
Why are so many people that aren't that didn't? Why are so many people that had the same thing happen to them not here? Right.
Right.
So like all those things I like would start to pick up and be like, wow, man, like maybe there's like something bigger out there. There's a bigger picture to all this. Like there's a purpose out here. Right. I didn't see it at the time, but like I was slowly but surely being introduced to the God of my understanding, which I choose to call Jesus Christ. Right. Like it's like it's transformed my life, man. Like it has revolutionized the way I choose to live my life, right? Like my behaviors, my quality of life, and the things I do to others. Most importantly, how I treat others. You know, it's a direct reflection of how I treat myself. You know, and but you know, like going to treatment all those times, it wasn't a waste. You know, and I think like that's like
every time, you know, there's a little bit that
every time, man. Every time that might have been the time that saved me from dying.
Exactly.
That might have saved me from dying, dude.
Exactly. You could have been out on the streets, but instead you were at a safe place, at least.
Saved me from myself.
And even though those stints are broken up in time, right? It was really one big stint. There was no division. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was all
part of the plan.
It was, you know.
It was all part of the plan, right? It wasn't my plan, but it was the plan that I'm on.
How did you get off your plan?
I mean, in what context do you mean?
Well, you said it was part of the plan, not my plan.
Yeah, I mean, well, so it was part of the big grand plan, right? Like the grand scheme of things, right? Like the master plan. And I'm not the master. You know what I mean, like I'm not him. I'm not that guy. And but my plan, you know, for my life at the time was like I'm gonna die a drug addict, you know, because that's just how I see my life going, or I'm gonna spend the rest of my life incarcerated. Like those are the
you had accepted those two.
I had accepted and completely like I swallowed that pill, right? Like that I wasn't okay with it, but I had known for a long time that if I kept doing what I'm doing, everyone around me that's doing what I'm doing, they're all getting the same results.
You had no hope.
No hope, hopeless, a loser.
No, I've never heard, a bigger loser than you at that.
No,
I don't mean that in a bad way. Look, I'm the one with the bad teeth. But I got to tell you, that's an amazing odds. Those are amazing. I mean, you know, and you had mentioned earlier, you know, you have this great, and I'm not in any way ingratiating you, but you have this great sense of humility.
Yeah.
Considering what you've gone through, right? You know, and I'm not interjecting into your story, but I felt moved to tell you that it was such a young age. It was 15, right?
Yeah.
Such a young age, and you reach for something that is highly addictive.
Yeah.
And at that age, your brain is still forming. And so you formed an attachment with it, which I don't know too many people who could really break that attachment.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
I mean, for me, man, like I think growing up, like being like, I'm not gonna say addicted, right? But fully engulfed in like that, like extreme sports lifestyle, and like it's a rush. You know what I mean? Like it's an adrenaline rush, like a dopamine rush, like
motocross.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. Like and the lifestyle and like doing the things I was doing was also a rush, man. Like, and it was like kind of like it just fit in that.
Oh yeah,
it fit in that lane for me, right? Like that neural pathway for me was already created.
You were riding the edge. You know?
Like,
oh yeah, okay.
Like that was created for me at a young age, and then I just replaced it, right? Like it was just a different thing.
Yeah.
Felt very similar.
A lot of people in their earlier lives kind of develop this type of thing. Like myself, like I used to be very, you know, outgoing. And, you know, in Armenian, we call it like bad kid, even though it's not bad. It just means like trouble, you know, like a kid that does a lot of, like I would climb trees and like, you know, do a lot of, I do a lot of things I can't mention.
You were shooting up meth and heroin. I climbed trees. Okay,
no, but like I get it. Like I was out until the street lights came on. You know what I mean? Like I was a kid, like one of those kids too, right? Like where it's like I was
It's easier for people like us to like something like that, to get introduced to something like that, as opposed to somebody who's like a reserved kid, like they want to stay home.
Yeah, like I wasn't in the house, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't home when I was a kid. I wasn't home when I was a kid at all, right? Like I was out with my friends until the streetlights came on. When the streetlights came on, I sometimes came home. You know, like, and I was trusted though. Like I was trusted. I had too much trust.
Yeah,
you know,
because you got the job done.
I turned that silver spoon that my parents gave me, like the spoiledness, and like kind of like I just did whatever they needed me to do, so I could do what I want to do, right? Like,
you were smart.
Yeah, like I knew manipulation very early without knowing it was manipulation, right? And that all those behaviors and all those things like correlate really well. They translate to addiction really well, right? Like
well, you had two things going against you. I mean, you had this adrenaline. You lived on the edge to begin with, and then you had injuries, which required something to bring you down.
Yeah.
So you really had it on both. It's something very addictive, and you already had the
perfect recipe.
Personality.
Yeah,
it was a perfect storm.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. And there, there was some things that happened with my parents, man, and I let me make that clear. Like I love my mom and dad, right? Like I love my parents, and they did the best they could with what they knew how to do, right? And I know that now, but I did not know that then, right? I despised them, right? Some things happened in my household, right? Like apparently, like I don't know what it's like to be married. I don't know at the time, right? Like looking back now, like I don't know what it's like to be married, to raise children, to take care of the bills and all the things, right? Like and like things happen and relationships fall apart, and adult things, right? Mature things that at the age that, for me, right? Like I was like around 11, man. And, I found out, and dad, forgive me, like, you know what I mean? Like, forgive me. But like, I found out my dad was having an affair with another woman, right? Like, and I was 11.
Yeah. You're not going to take that well as a
dude. My dad was my superhero. Yeah. You know what I mean? My dad was my hero, right? Like he could do no wrong, right? Could do no wrong. And, my mom also is a saint. Like my mom, I've never seen my parents drunk. I've never seen my parents high. I have never seen them hit each other, right? But like what I wasn't seeing was the fact that they were living separate lives under the same household, right? And I didn't understand it at 11, right? But what I did understand was that like my mom was hurt, my dad was a liar, and that kind of rocked my family. You know what I mean? That kind of rocked my family. Thank God later down the line, years later, my parents got remarried and they kept it together, and my dad got some help, and like, like my mom and dad like went to therapy, and they stuck it out, and like they have a great relationship now, right? But
props to them.
Props, dude. Like it's
tough work.
That's hard if you're 11. I mean,
and I had my little sister too. You know, like I mean?
It's a lot.
I had a little sister that was 6 years younger than me that has still to this day, I think, honestly, no idea that even ever happened.
Probably not.
And,
probably for the best.
For the best, but I fucking resented it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I was mad that I had to know, and because my life got my life got ripped out from under me, kind of. Like my foundation, I guess
completely.
You could say. And my sisters didn't.
No,
right?
I know.
And God bless her, right? Like thank God. Yeah. And like.
But you wonder what how
often I do, man. I do. I wonder if that was the fuel to the fire that I needed that set my addiction ablaze. You know what I mean? Like, cause like I had that anger and that resentment towards them, and once I found those substances that made that anger and resentment go away, like on top of feeling wonderful. Like I'm gonna do this every day, for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And thank God for my sister, man. Like I set such a bad example. It was a good one. She's like got her master's degree and does such a wonderful job at just being a good person, right? Like it was like the best possible outcome for her. Because I left, I abandoned her. Like I was doing all the things that like a big brother definitely shouldn't be doing. I definitely wasn't there for her, and But, you know, like when it comes to like addiction and like in recovery and treatment and being in this field, right? Like being in this field, I think like trauma is a really big part of it, you know?
It is.
And being able to admit like that things weren't always so good for me when I was younger, even though like I had it a lot better than most people. Being able to like look at it for what it really is and being able to uncover the truth, right? Like kind of really helped me free myself from like that like blame game, right? Because I fucking hated my parents, you know, like I hated them for that, like, and I could not get past that, right? Like I blamed them for so much stuff, right? And I used that for years and years and years as to
justification.
Absolutely. That's the perfect word. Just to justify my actions, right? Like to think that like I'm paying them back for the hurt that they did me. Like I'm hurting them when really in reality, they love me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm just hurting myself. I couldn't see it at the time, right? But I had to learn that, you know, and that took time, man. And but you know, with treatment, right? Like thank God for treatment. Like, thank God for the things that we do in this field. And like, thank God for like places like what we mentioned earlier and what we do now for a living, right? Like, I'd be dead, you know, hands down, I'd be dead. I'd be dead or I'd be incarcerated if it wasn't for places to come get better. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and I think like, as far as like spreading awareness and like spreading like the message out there, it's like that there's help, you know what I mean? Like there is so much resources and so many ways out of the, I guess you'd like to call it the pits of hell.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many ways out of it, but like you have to
just got to stretch your hand and grab
You have to reach for the help, right? Like
well,
you have to want
help. There's like help you can get, Medi-Cal, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We can even give resources, you know.
Yeah. Like there is so many ways out like that, like, and like on the government side of things and like on the financial side of things, like there's so much resources and so much money to give back to the community and to like get people out of the streets, get people off of fentanyl, get people off of heroin,
it's a huge
alcohol.
effort. Yeah.
It's like, it's there. You know what I mean? It's got to come from within.
I feel like you know, this is kind of a crazy thought, but I feel like there's so much help out there that it kind of hinders the process a bit. Because people think like, hey man, like, you know, I could just get help so easily. I'm just going to kick back, keep doing my thing. But when there's that like, hey man, like there isn't too much resources out there. Like if you grab that opportunity, you got to take it. You
got to run with it.
Yeah. You're right. I feel like those opportunities are like slowly getting cut down. A lot of things are changing.
I think what you're saying is correct, right? Like, I think that there is so much resources out there that almost people see it as I'm in and out. I'm in and out.
Makes people complacent a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'll get it next time.
Yeah.
I know I have a safe place to go, right? Like, why do I need to get better if I know I can just come get better for a little bit and keep doing what I'm doing?
I have insurance. I could go to treatment. I can get out, go in until I don't know what happens.
I tell all my clients, if you're an addict today, you're going to be addicted tomorrow.
Yeah, like just don't get it twisted, right? Like if you got the disease of addiction or if you've been bitten by the disease of alcoholism, you're never, ever getting rid of it. You might just not use, but you will have that for the rest of your life. Like, and I'm a firm believer in that. Once an addict, always an addict, right? Like it's just what am I willing to do to keep the disease arrested and at bay?
Right.
Right. Like that's still in me. It's alive and well, right? Like it has the disease of addiction, right? Like for me has, spider webbed its way into every aspect of my life, right? Like romances, finances, right? Like school, being a workaholic, you know, like always having to have to do something, right? Never being able to really like sit still and enjoy my life for what it is because I have to keep this quiet, you know? And
I know a lot of people like that.
The only way I can keep this quiet. Yeah, I know, you know, and the way I keep it quiet is by staying out of my head and staying busy, right? But you know, that comes with time, right? Like early on in my recovery in the first couple of years, like I really stayed active. I stayed busy. Like I did probably more than I should have done, right? But I stayed clean. So I'm not going to knock it, you know, like, but now I'm able to sit with myself, you know, I'm able to do nothing and be okay with it.
It gets better.
it gets so
now,
much better.
How did that come about? How did you get from that there to there?
So like I think to fully like get the whole like story on like how I even came to be clean, right? And with like longevity in recovery, right? Like I had to get to a place of absolute desperation. Right? I had to get to a place to where like I knew without a shadow of a doubt that no longer I have the energy and the hustle, like the capability of keeping up this lifestyle that I continue to live, right? Like I can't do it anymore. Like it is killing me, right? Like not killing me as in the fact that like I'm going to OD, but killing me as in like I hate who I am.
Yeah.
I hate the person
worst.
that I am.
Being done.
I can't look in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I do not know the person looking back at me, right? There's darkness in my eyes, right? Like I'm emotionally bankrupt, right? Like spiritually, like God's not even in my life. You know, I have pushed him away. I've pushed God away so far that I feel like I'm walking alone in the world, right? Like I'm meaningless, right?
So what happened in that moment when I mean there was a moment.
There was, right? Then and there's been a few moments, man, like but the most notable moment for me, right? Like the last time I used drugs, it was July 2020, right? And I did what I do, right? And I got high and something wasn't right with me, man. Like something wasn't right. Like I did not feel right internally in my body. Like
how long were you clean before that?
Before that, I wasn't. Okay. I wasn't clean. So the longest time clean that I've ever had was November 1st, 2019. It was I got out of jail October 31st. My mom bailed me out. And it's a crazy story, man. Like I was on parole, right? Like, cause I got out of prison in 2018. Right. And, when you get out of prison, you have to like, there's some stipulations.
Yeah.
Right. And, I was still like, I guess you could say I was actively on parole and like I had, someone that I had to check into.
Probation officer.
Parole officer. Yeah. And, but he was cool. He was lenient. You know, he knew I was doing my thing. Like he knew I was getting high, but like I didn't give him any dirty drug tests.
Right.
I was staying out of trouble. I wasn't getting involved with the law. But this one time, man, sure enough, I had went and I went to a place. I went to one of these places out here in the valley, right? And it's you got these little underground casinos out here, right? And they're a big thing. Really? And
first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah, it's a big thing, man. It's a big thing, right? Like, but you could do drugs there, and you can like gamble. Okay. Right, with the little money that you have, it's like a thing, right? It's like a whole little like
den.
It is, dude. Really? It's a drug den. It's like a drug den with like a little video game that you get paid to win.
That'd be a cool movie.
But you're allowed to use drugs there, right? So I went there. I went there and I sold some drugs. I got high for a minute, and when I left there, they raided it. They raided it, right? They raided it, and I knew right then and there. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, like. Here we go again. Oh my gosh. Here we go again. But the cold part about it is, right, like I had already had an appointment to go to this treatment center November 1st. It's October 30th, 2019. I'm in the back of a sheriff's car, right? I'm in the back of a sheriff's car. And
as a result of
the raid, right? As a result of the raid. They got a gang of us, like 17 people went to jail, right?
Jeez.
And I had a scale on me. I had drugs and of course,
They raided it while you were in there?
While I was leaving.
So they like tackled you and like
Everybody
dogs like
sat us all down on the curb.
Shit.
Man, it was a joke. It was a joke, dude. And like that's like another like God moment for me though, right? Like because that right there was crazy, man. Because I got in the back of the cop car in the sheriff's car, Los Angeles County Sheriff's, man. I'll never forget it. The sergeant in the front of the SUV looked back at me and he's like, "Is your mom's name Pamela?" And I'm like, I'm either really high right now or I'm like, this is really happening. You know what I mean? Like, his wife is a nurse and my mom's a nurse.
Mm-hmm. And they know each other. They're friends.
They know each other, and he told me right then and there as we're driving to jail, right? You're killing your mom. You know that? Like, you're killing your mom. Because she talks to his wife about how my son's an addict, my son's a drug addict, and it's hard for me to talk about, man, like that. It hits me in a way where it's just like, because I love my mom, dude, and
Yeah.
When he told me that, I was like, fuck, man, like, I got to get this shit together, dude. Like, I got to stop, you know? And I ended up telling him, I'm like, I'm going to treatment. I told the sheriff, I'm going to treatment November 1st. I'm going to treatment. He's like, you're full of it, dude. Like, you're full of it. Like, we've heard that so many times from so many people. Like, stop, bro. And I called my mom. I'm in the substation. I called my mom, right? I called my mom, you got to get over here right now. Like, you need to bail me out. I'm on parole. Like, in LA County, right? Like, when you're on parole, they put a parole hold on you. Mm-hmm. So you can't get out. Mm-hmm. Right. So
no bail, basically.
No bail, dude. You're done. Right. And I need my mom to come get me before I hit the court because I'm done. I'm going to the county. Right. And I need to make this appointment to go to treatment. Mm-hmm. And that's the first time I went to that place in North Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Right.
Cry help.
Yeah. Cry help.
How'd you get a spot in there? I know it's a big waiting list.
Dude, I just called every day for weeks.
And it just happened to be that day.
I got arrested and I'm like,
another one of God's miracles.
Yeah, dude. And my mom got me. She came and got me. Only time ever she's ever gotten me out of a situation like that.
So happy.
Yeah. And I went to Cry Help, man. I went there. I went and I got clean. I stayed there for 128 days.
Nice.
I fought the case. They let me go to court every month. I fought that case. They dropped the charges.
Wow.
I stayed clean.
Yeah.
And I ended up staying clean. And that's the only time before this attempt that I'm living in currently right now that I had gotten any amount of time clean that was worth talking about, you know, because I really wanted it, you know. I stayed clean for 6 months, and I was supposed to get my chip May 1st. I was supposed to go to a meeting, meet my sponsor there. I was living in sober living. I was supposed to go and get a chip for 6 months, and I had a bad conversation at work, and I had a guy working construction. I was doing electrical work at the time, and he started talking about using, and I let that conversation turn into a thought. I let that thought turn into a movie in my head, and I romanced myself getting loaded.
Festered.
Didn't tell a soul. Didn't call my sponsor. Didn't tell anybody at the sober living. Didn't call anybody in my support group, right? I didn't tell on myself. I didn't make it back to that sober living for 5 days to come get my stuff, right? I ended up at the Connections house. I ended up high that night, right? And that ended up me going on a run, man. And I
was it just that one conversation?
That conversation. I'll never forget it, man.
It wasn't anything like before that leading up.
Nothing.
It was
man.
Perfectly, you know.
My life was good, dude.
It just happened.
That one thing just got you.
It got me, man.
Do you think it's because you started feeling comfortable and you're like, hey, you know, like I'm getting the hang of this. I feel good. I mean,
you know what? Like looking back now, it was like, honestly, like I got a little bit too much too quickly. Like I was making good money, right? I was making good money. I was, I got a cool car, right?
What'd you get?
A Beamer.
Nice.
Yeah. Like a 328i.
That's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it was, dude, but it was cool for me, right? Like,
very cool.
For me, it was like, and I got a cool girlfriend who I thought was beautiful, right?
Turns out,
yeah, she was not the cool though.
Oh,
right? Like she was not.
She was cool on the outside.
Great looking on the outside, not the person that I would need to be with.
She was not cool.
Yeah. The devil usually approaches you with what you want.
All shapes and sizes, right? Okay. Like it comes, right? Like, dude. So looking back now, I could see that those things probably weren't the things I needed, right? Like I needed more structure, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Right. Because for me, right, like even though it was like a cool little car, it was a cool little job, a cool little girlfriend, like I had never had anything of my own in my entire life, you know?
Yeah.
From the time I was 15 till that time when I was 27 at the time, right? Like I never had a credit card. I never had a bank account. I never had a job that I stayed at for longer than a month. I never had anything to my name, and I felt proud of those things, right? I felt proud of those things, and I let those things define me, right? I let those things be what I was choosing to value my life under, right? And that's not what life's all about.
Right.
I had it backwards.
You know, can I just ask you, because what really interests me in a way as you're speaking is, you know, this personality, right, that is driven, that rides on the edge, that, you know, is adrenaline, in a sense. How is it that you came to transform that into what you are now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's a loaded question.
No, it's not a loaded question, but I'm just like, I'm getting to the point where it was like that desperation, right? Like there's a big buildup to it, right? Like that desperation, that time when I relapsed, right? I had 6 months clean, right? That devastated me. You know what I mean? Because I thought I had it, right? Like I thought I was like, damn, I'm gonna stay clean. You know, like I'm in recovery now,
right?
You know,
right.
And it was heartbreaking, right? Not only was it heartbreaking to me, it was heartbreaking to my friends that I had made it in recovery. It was heartbreaking to my parents because they they finally started to trust me again.
Right.
They were sleeping at night without worrying where I was, you know, or if I was alive. And you know, like I ended up getting endocarditis, man. And
what is that?
What that is an infection of your aortic valve in your heart, right? So I ended up getting high, right? Like I ended up getting high in July 2020. Like I had been doing every day since I relapsed, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was something dirty, something that I did a shot, and it was not good, right? I ended up getting sepsis, which is a blood infection. That blood infection turned into endocarditis, and I had to call 911 on myself in my own car, right? Like because I was going in and out of consciousness, and
wow.
When I got to the hospital, they told me that I had sepsis, and then over the course of the next 2 weeks when I was in the hospital, mind you, I'm at the hospital my mom works at.
Oh.
So, and I'm in the ICU, right? Like I'm fully out of it, right? They're about to do open heart surgery. They're going to replace my aortic valve because it's over with, right? It's done. It's over with. And my mom comes in to see me, right? Because this is the height of COVID too. You know what I mean? This is the height of COVID. Like COVID's happening.
Jeez.
Right. So it's like already hard to have anybody come see you in the hospital. But my mom, she came in and she told me, she's like, I'm gonna fucking bury you, huh? She told me, she's like, it's hard to say without like getting teared up, but she told me I'm gonna end up burying you. You know, I'm her firstborn son, like I'm her only son. You know, and that was the moment when she told me that. I knew that I didn't know how, right? Like I told you earlier, like I didn't know how I was gonna actually do this and stay clean and become the man I am today, right? Like, but I knew that I wasn't gonna do that ever again to her, right? And you know, it's hard to say. I knew that, like right then and there, like I was gonna make every effort that I possibly could. If I made it out of this alive, right? If I get out of the hospital, I'm going back to that place. I'm going back to treatment. And I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do. And I'm going to listen to everything they tell me to do. And I'm not going to ask why. You know, I'm going to pretend like I don't know anything and have a new experience, man.
Wow.
And I did that. I did just that, you know, and I think to get back to what you were asking me is how did it transform and become like the man that I am today, right? Like it took work.
It took work.
It took work. It took real work. Like it took doing the step work, right? Step work, I mean 12 steps.
Right.
You know?
Would you say that like a lot of the your transformation or whatever you want to call it was a big part of the 12 steps? Or
it was primarily the 12 steps, yeah.
Okay, all right. So
I want to say primarily as a result of getting a relationship with God, encompassing those 12 steps, right? At the same time.
At the same time. Okay,
you know,
right. I got you.
Like I developed my relationship with God through those experiences, life and death experiences, right? Like, and seeing that like he has been in my life, guiding me and keeping me alive without my permission my entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you define as a relationship with God?
For me, a relationship with God is like, for me, I feel like my relationship with God is like centered right here in my gut, you know, like my intuition, right? My knowing of right from wrong, and love.
How is it different than the God that you felt as you expressed pressing against your heart?
Yeah.
How is it different?
Like the drug God, right? Like the feeling.
Okay, yeah.
The feeling, right? So my relationship with God today and my relationship with that I have with God versus that feeling, right? Is that the relationship I have with God today, I don't get that feeling right away. It's not instant gratification, right? Like I don't get to feel I don't feel better when I want to feel better. right? I got to do some things first in order to feel better. Right?
But what is that better feeling compared to God versus drugs?
God versus drugs, like drugs, right? It's all physical for me, right? Like it's a great question, man. Like the God that I feel today, I feel like through my relationships, right? Meaningful relationships. I feel the love that I have in my life today, the blessings that I have in my life today, the ability to help people, right? And want nothing in return, right? Like, and to be able to look back on my life and to see where I've come from and to see where I'm at now and where I'm getting to go as a result of just doing the right thing. Like just putting one foot in front of the other and not listening to what's up here anymore, right? Like not listening to what my head tells me and listening to what my heart tells me, right? Like, and when I say heart, I mean my trust in like what I know that I'm supposed to be doing, right? Versus what I want to do sometimes. Sometimes what I want to do is not the right thing. Sometimes what I want to do is purely for selfish reason, right?
Is there a step within the 12 steps that you really found to be somewhat impactful in a profound way for you?
Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and say that not any of them is less important than the other, right? But I will definitely say, because I think they're in nature, they're designed, right, like to work 1 through 12 for a reason, right? You can't just go to 9. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't just skip 1, 2, and 3 and go to 4, right? Right. I think they're designed in a way to where it's like it gets you ready for the next one, so the next one's not so overwhelming that it takes you out.
Oh, that's
right.
Good, I never thought about that.
But for me, like the 4th step was great. 3rd step, super important. Like it turn my will over to the care of God that I understand, right? Like, and by turning my will over, right, like listening to others that are doing the right thing, right? And for me, I think one of the most important steps of all, without a doubt, for me personally, right, that has had the most impact on myself is the amends process. Right, the 9th step, right? Like I honestly think that step separates the men from the boys in recovery, right? And by what I mean by that is like being able to right the wrongs that I've done throughout my life, right? And not care what the other party says, right? Like be willing and open to like take all the punches, you know, like I owe financial amends. I owe my parents an immense amount of money from the things I've stolen from them, like financial crimes, and like the people that I've hurt along the way that were just innocent bystanders, right? And being able to like be on an even playing field with the world again and not feel like I owe, you know, I think that's been the most like healing process for me, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's a hard one. And boy, you can screw that one up too.
Yeah.
I did it one time. I went a little too soon with apple tarts.
Yeah.
And I put them on the door. I'm like, nah. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, don't ever come around me again.
And I was like, Jesus, so I left the apple tarts and ran.
Keep your apple tarts to yourself.
Fuck, I mean, you know,
but
what
like,
are you going to do?
I think
Were they good apple tarts?
The best.
Really? You made them?
Not good enough.
No.
You bought them from Ralph's?
But I got them. No, I didn't get them from Ralph's. I got them from a bakery. They were good.
Got them from bakery.
They were very good. You know, I thought for sure if this didn't do it.
If this doesn't do it, then I don't know what will.
You know what the best time to make amends? I'm not Jewish, but check this out. It's around Yom Kippur. If you did something wrong to somebody, and I say I'm sorry to you, you can say, I don't care, you know, get away from me, whatever. If you say it twice, you can still say that. But on the 3rd time, if you don't accept my apology, it's on you.
Yeah.
They have this tradition. So it's really kind of interesting. If you're going to make amends, I suggest that's the time to do it because
just say it 3 times in a row really quick. I'm sorry.
You know, I think you got to wait a couple of
You know what, though? Like, that's funny you bring that up, like the I'm sorry thing, right?
Yeah.
For me, like I'm sorry is empty, man.
Doesn't mean shit.
Doesn't mean a damn thing, bro. I've said I'm sorry my whole life because I was a sorry motherfucker. You know what I mean? I was a loser, right? Like I was a sorry individual when I was getting loaded, man. And like for me, right, I think the greatest thing that I've ever been able to do is like as a result of living the lifestyle that I choose to live now is like being a living amends. You know what I mean? Like living in a way to where it's like I can be proud of who I've become and who I am, and along the way help others get to where they want to go. Right.
Wow.
And another thing is like giving my my family peace today. Right. Like giving my family peace today has probably been one of the. It's something that I couldn't have done it on my own. Right. Like without God and without like the people I have in my life, like it's not possible. Like, 'cause if I could have gotten clean on my own, right, like without help, like I would have done it. You know, like I was telling him earlier, like I wanted to stop using years before I actually stopped. I just didn't know how.
You know, I just wanted to say, I saw, him do something with a card or something, but in any case, I wanted to say, I know when we talked earlier, you said to me, I don't want this to be about drugs, right? Yeah. So my question to you is how, because you've mentioned God a few times, how does that play a role in your life today, practically?
Prayer and meditation.
You're taking over all the God questions from me.
No. Okay. You're gonna, because it's always going to go back to he.
I love talking about God.
If you're not Christian, seriously, if you're not Christian, he'll try and save you. And then,
it's not about being Christian or not, you know.
I think that's the way though, you know.
I did it.
Yeah.
But
like for me, prayer and meditation, man. Like for me, prayer.
Do you pray and read the scripture?
I've read front to back multiple versions.
Wow.
I've read front to back NASB, KJV, NKJV, all the versions, all the different translations. I had a lot of time on my hands, man. I did a lot of it when I was incarcerated, bro.
That's crazy, bro. There's not too many people that have read it front and back.
I've read it front to back, man, and like I gotta.
You've read it front to back.
I gotta burn
the Bible,
and you still disagree?
I've read it so many times. I didn't say. I never said I disagree.
So I'm a New Testament guy. Let me make that clear too. Like I'm a New Testament kind of guy, you know. But
yeah, I mean it's exactly the movement out. I mean you don't, but still do the amends thing on that day because it works out
on Yom Kippur.
Yeah. Culturally, it depends on who you're around, you know. But
that's an amazing transformation. I mean, so when you say you pray, you'll hear people say like, "Oh, I'm praying to get, a new car," and whatever.
So like, I have prayed for material things, right?
How do you pray? Is maybe
I guess what I'm saying is, what does that mean? Like,
for me, prayer is a conversation with God, right?
Yeah.
And for me, prayer can look, and it has multiple ways it can be done, right? For me, right? Hands on my knees, always great, right? Showing humility, right? Being grateful, right? But like I pray all the time. Like, and some people might say I'm talking to myself, but like I know I'm talking to someone that you can't hear, man. You know what I mean?
That's that's what I was trying to pick out of you is that relationship, because a lot of people say I have a relationship with God, but don't understand what that means.
I'm talking to people. I'm talking to someone that you can't hear, man, and I might get answers from someone else. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, right? Like, it's called confirmation, man. Yeah. And for me, right? Like, I'll be praying for stuff and I'll be thinking about stuff like just between me and God, right? Like when I say it, like it's always between me and God when it's just me, right? Like I'll be hearing someone talk at a meeting or something, or I'll be hearing something and it's like exactly spot on.
Exactly.
From someone that has no idea that I was even having that conversation with God, right? That's God.
Or what about the things God tells you that are deep within that you don't even want to ask him?
Oh yeah, he knows, bro. He knows.
That's a crazy.
I was wondering. Okay, bro. Just so I'm following. But which God are we talking about? Because the Hindus have like 300,000.
I'm talking about my higher power. I'm talking about my higher power.
We're talking about the green one.
Yeah.
The Shintos have one for the plant. They got one for
is there a podcast God?
No, but my brother's a missionary, and he wants to come on. He's from Africa.
Oh, really?
He's lived there for 25 years.
Let's get him on.
He's a missionary. He's a pastor there.
Me and your brother are going to convert you that day.
Who says I'm not converted? I never said that.
I know.
Maybe I'm playing,
like, yeah, for me, man, like my relationship with God is very intimate. It's very private, and it has nothing to do with worldly things, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't pray for money. Like, I don't pray for materialism. Like, I don't pray for none of that. I just pray for a way to make, a way to live right, like, in a way to where I can look myself in the mirror and be proud of the man that I am. you know, and not hurt people along the way. You know, love my neighbor. You know, but that's the simplest. I think the simplest, as simple as I could put it, is love thy neighbor as I love myself, right? But like along with that, I have to learn to love myself first. You know, I think that's really what recovery is.
Yeah, it's important.
You know, I've been able to learn to like the person I see looking back in the mirror.
That's super important.
You know, and because for years I didn't. You know.
Yeah.
And,
would you actually hear, like, when you say you're having a conversation, would you get messages that were just kind of insights? It wasn't like a thought.
For me, man, it's not like I'm not hearing God's voice. I hear my voice. I hear my voice, and I'm not talking like I'm hearing voices. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
I just like, it's intuition, man. Like I just know better. Like I know, like, okay, you know, like, and it feels right with my soul.
Yeah.
Right. It feels right with my spirit. Like I don't feel conflicted with self. Right.
Conflicted with self.
I know that like this is the way, you know.
Right.
Now it's up to me to go that way.
Right.
You know, that's my free will.
Yep.
What am I going to do with it?
Right.
You know, and I think that's really like what recovery is all about. Like I know right from wrong.
I just got to choose.
I have to choose how far I'm willing to go and what I'm willing to do with that right. You know, and dude, everything that I've ever been through and everything that I've learned, man, and like through the lifestyle, through recovery, through God, and like all that translates to like being in the field. You know, all that translates to being in as a career path. You know what I mean? And it's like it's twofold, right? Like, because not only do I get paid, I get paid well to help people,
Right.
but I feel well helping people. You know what I mean? Like I get a 2-for-1 special. You know, like I get to go to bed at night knowing that I'm doing the
God's
work.
blessing you,
dude.
man.
I'm doing the work. You know what I mean? Like I get people calling me that have been through our spots and like have been in treatment a year later. Like my life is so good.
That's so rewarding.
Like they're
That's
sending me pictures of their 1-year coin and their cake, and they're like, I got to play a part in that.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
you feel honored when like someone remembers you and they kind of give you credit for being a part of their journey.
Dude. It cannot be bought.
Yeah.
That cannot be bought. It cannot.
Ron gets a lot of that.
It can't be bought, man.
I'm jealous.
What?
Cake?
What are you talking about?
Because
Chips?
all the people that you help, man.
Yeah, man.
You're
and
putting
like,
in work day and night, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't relapsed considering my clients. I'm just kidding.
You know, like,
but you're an example
hey,
for them.
That's all it is, right? Like, I can't do it for you, but I can show you how it works for me, right? Like, I can show you what works for me, and it's up to you, right? Like, and
But you know, you talked about trauma earlier.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important for people to recognize. And and in addiction, and then you talked about shame, right? And
I've lived in a state of shame for most of my life, you know?
And that is part of trauma, isn't it? I mean, that is a symptom of trauma.
It's traumatizing.
And trauma, and I'm not saying like, you know, I'm just saying you were a victim.
Yeah, I mean
100%. I mean, randomly, you were a victim, and you did the best you could to stay out of pain.
I think that goes to like the word victim, right, is a very, very dangerous place to be in, right? As far as being in recovery, and being like, if for anyone out there that's like looking for help, right, like once you get to a place to where you feel safe enough to learn to talk about what you got going on inside you, right? Like there's a time in my life where I was no longer a victim, right? I was a volunteer, right? So like,
how did that? Do you know when
victim
that
versus volunteer?
Yeah, it's the same V though. It disguises itself in the same way, right? Like, am I a victim of circumstance, or do I choose to be in this mess? Right.
Right. It's a change of mindset.
I chose it for a lot of years, man. I just had to figure out that that's what I chose.
That was a banger, bro.
Yeah,
that was good, bro.
One, you know?
So like that's something that I always tell the clients, man, and I tell people that I sponsor, and it's like, yo, you need to learn how to take responsibility for your actions, right? Like, because like I said, I can blame my parents, I can blame motocross, I can blame the opiate pills, I can blame the pharmaceutical company, I can blame whoever, I could blame Joe Blow on the corner, right? He looked at me wrong and do some heroin, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to think about the way he looked at me, right? Like, nah, like Yeah, I was a victim, right? Like I was a victim to certain things that happened in my life, but I think everyone has that moment where they're like it's out of their control what happens to them, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't give me the excuse to live like a maniac. It doesn't give me the excuse to do things that hurt me. It doesn't give me the excuse to defile my body with drugs, right? Like that is a choice that I made, a conscious choice. Like I made a conscious choice. I didn't know where it was going to take me making that choice, right? But I made a choice to do those things, and that is not a victim, right? I volunteered that. Like I was free and I was willingly choosing to ruin my life, man.
You know, I even though there's a bit of a contrast between his question and your answer, I feel like there's a similarity in the idea that, you know, even though we do have free will, I feel like we're also victims of the choices that we're presented.
Absolutely. That is a double-edged right there, right? Like, so like,
we don't get to choose what our choices are.
I don't. So like for a lot of years, right? Like I felt like I had no choice but to use, right? My choices, I felt like were made up for me. Like these are the cards I'm dealt, right? Little did I know, I dealt myself the cards.
You dealt yourself the cards.
You know, like
no, I mean,
dealt myself the cards.
It's a little bit of a paradox.
It sounds like a contrast, but in actuality, I'm glad I asked the question because I'm glad, you know, that people got to hear his statement in regard to, yes, it is so easy to go to, you know,
like, so with trauma work, man, like trauma work, there's many ways out, right? Like you could do shadow work, you could reparent your child, right? There is ways.
Do you know that EMDR?
Yeah.
Does that really work?
I mean, I haven't done it. I'm not certified in it. I'm not a therapist yet. Okay. I'm not a therapist yet, but like one day I'll find out, you know? But for me, right, like the trauma stuff, like I just had to figure out like how long am I going to let this shape the course of my life, right? How long am I going to allow this thing or stuff that's happened to me to continue to direct the choices I make that continue to hurt me, right? Like I'm done with that. And like I knew that like everything I had ever been through, everything that I have ever been through, right? It doesn't have to define my life in a negative way. Right. And like, so
you could always change course.
Always change course, man. I just had to see it for what it was, you know, like
you're not done until you're done.
My perception was skewed. Yeah. Right. And
there was that moment with your mom.
Yeah.
When you had that clarity.
Yeah. It was that moment with my mom, man. When I had that clarity, it was like, oh, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I put myself here. You know, like I am the.
Was that a moment of realization where you
divine intervention, man?
Victim versus volunteer.
Yeah, yeah.
You must have a very special mother.
Yeah, she's great, dude.
She's been praying for you a lot. That's what I could probably
say
hard.
Off the bat. I can't even think about her sometimes without even wanting to cry, man, because she's so good, dude.
But look at her prayers.
Yeah,
you know,
been answered tenfold. You know what I mean? Tenfold.
Being answered, man. Yeah. So
it's a trip, dude. Like
it is a trip.
Like trauma's a big thing, man. Trauma's a big thing, but it's not the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We heal. Yeah. We heal. Right. And it's like, it's up to you though.
Yeah.
It's up to us, right? Like if we want to be able to live full and rewarding and fulfilling lives, like we got to step out through fear.
Right.
We have to step through fear, step into the unknown and do the real work, which is inside of you. Right. We have to uncover the truth.
Yeah. A lot of people think that, you know, that certain things are impossible, right? I don't want to turn this into a motivational speech, but like every person has, you know, if you have 2 legs, 2 arms, you know, like capable. If you're physically capable, you're mentally capable. Yeah. There's no difference between person A and someone who landed on the moon, for example.
You know, like, dude, the cold part about it, right? Like the cold part about recovery is like, I have found out that like every answer I ever needed, right? Everything that I always was seeking, right? Like I had already inside me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just needed someone to show me.
Yeah.
You know, I just needed someone to help me uncover the truth, right? Like, and it's like, that is the same that goes for everybody. We all have equal opportunity in recovery. Everyone can be free from this, right? Like it's just, what are you willing to do?
Apparently, I mean, if you can, yeah.
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it with myself, with others. I've seen it countless times where like the sick and twisted addict comes from nothing and makes. I mean,
no, I know it's.
There's a lot of people that we know that.
I know.
You know, that were
the worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst, and are people right now doing big things.
The best of the best. You know?
Best of the best.
Yeah, killing the game.
Yeah, it's all choice.
Yeah, dude. It's just it's magical. It's what it is. It's magical, man. Like it's really something that.
So it's like you got your sense of wonder back in a sense.
Yeah, I got a life that I never even had. I've never even could. I have, and this is like a saying in recovery, right? But it reigns true for me. I have a life beyond my wildest dreams, dude. And so my wildest dreams when I was getting loaded, like I said before, man, was like, I'm going to die or I'm going to prison forever. Anything after that, like anything past that, I'm overpaid, right? Like, because the things that I've done, I don't deserve the things I have today, you know? And I truly believe like the only way I get to keep those things is by helping others.
Yeah.
You know, that's it, you know, like, and my life's good today, man. Like I have a rewarding career, a rewarding relationship with my family. I'm engaged and, like I got an education, you know, and, more education to come and
a future.
The brightest future, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. You're engaged.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, those are the things. Like those are the things, right? Like the things that I never thought that would ever like happen in my life, right? So I'm blessed, man.
That's good.
Beyond blessed.
I love that.
Well, I would like to hear about meditation because that's seems to be a very strong part of his recovery. You know what I mean? And how those.
Yeah, I mean it is a strong part, right? Like it's not the like. The foundation of it, you know what I mean? But like I choose to have time with myself, and for me meditation is like self-care. Right? Like I choose to take care of my body. I eat well. I go to the gym consistently, right? Like I go to meetings consistently. Like I spend time alone. I spend time quiet. And for me that's what meditation is, right? For me, prayer, asking God, talking to God, meditation, listening for God, right? Receiving the answers I need from him.
I like that.
And for me, meditation, like, dude, I could be meditating in traffic, man.
Yeah.
Like, it just depends on what state of mind I'm in.
What kind of state of mind would you say meditation is?
Quiet. Peace.
Cutting out distractions, cutting out noise. What are you focusing on?
Nothing. Breathing.
Thought comes to an end.
For me, I'm focusing on not thinking about anything. And if that means and you know what, sometimes for me to get there, I have to think about one thing only. Right. And I learn how to breathe, slow my heart rate down and just chill, man. Like, you know, like just let all the weight come off your shoulders and just be like, okay, I'm good.
You know, I heard somewhere, I think if thought became aware of itself, right? And seeing the damage it has created, right? Became aware of itself and stopped, realizing that what it was doing. I think, and I heard this, but somebody explained it so well, that after that, when thought ceases, the only thing that's left is love. Love is the only thing that's left. You know, which is, I mean, God.
That's the language, man.
You know what I mean?
Love is the language of God, bro. Yeah, absolutely.
But let's not forget, love comes in different shapes and forms.
There's a type of love
there is only love or no love.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, but there's different types of love as well. There's that like strict, like, you know, fatherly love, like
there's that,
get in
like,
line
truth,
type of
right?
love.
Like that
There's
sternness.
Yeah.
Like this is how it is.
God's both ways.
Yeah.
God puts us through some crazy shit to teach us a lesson.
Absolutely.
He's not,
man.
you know, he's not gonna always like, you know,
hey,
cushion
we're not gonna pat you on the back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay. No, like you need to go through this.
Yeah.
You need to learn.
Yeah, and that's the
No,
reality.
you don't have to worry. You've been
accept
baptized.
You know.
You're like me.
in the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
Exactly.
I have too.
I mean, you know, but I think, you know, the fact that we are, you know, really, we're all connected. You know, I saw this interesting special where they showed like where fire was invented in like China. The same thing was happening like in Brazil. So we have this connection to each other.
Everything's connected, man.
You know what I mean?
And all of it's connected. I truly believe that, like everything in the earth.
Well, and you were talking about that in your story, you know, I mean, all the connections. And I think those are, I don't know why that happens, but it's telling you something. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That it is telling us something, right? But are we able to hear it? Are we able to see it and listen to it? Are we able to get out of our own ways? Are we able to get out of our own way
to be that humble
long enough to see the truth, right? Like to see the world, what it is for what it really is, right? It's beautiful. It is, you know, and I think we need a lot more kindness, a lot more empathy, and a lot more love in the world. Honestly, I think the world can be a really dark place sometimes.
Yeah, and you'd think we'd have this problem solved by now, wouldn't you? I mean, when you think how far we've come in technological world, we're still angry, going to war, killing each other, greed. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not. I do, you know,
we're human. We're human, you know.
Grateful for the wisdom that you shared with us.
Thank you, brother.
To the people, like, as well.
You know, just his presence here. You know what I mean? And showing what, you know, the human spirit, you know, is capable of.
Spirit's a good highlight here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, that says something that, you know, and there's a lot of people that they don't have anybody. They don't have a family. They don't have anybody, you know, and they got to go through it alone. But I mean, if
you're that guy, if you're that girl that's been going through that alone, just remember that you're not alone. Resource is a touch away. If not resource, then, you know, God is even closer than that. So
Absolutely.
Just reach out.
Absolutely.
You know, it says in the Bible, seek and you shall receive. Absolutely. If you're seeking, if you're looking for it, if you want it, it will happen. So 100%. Stay committed.
Ask, seek, knock.
Stay committed in seeking of what you would say if God was standing in front of you right now.
Thank you. That's as simple as it gets. Thank you.
Love that.
Yeah.
Pleasure, Masen.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Yeah.